All right, all right, all right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second season of Beyond My Brushes podcast. I am your girl, Chiquita Ann, aka Miss Red Carpet, and tonight I have a special co-host, one of my good friends, all the way from Chicago. It is none other than my friend, Mr. Stephen J. Thurston. Stephen, how are you, buddy?
I'm great. Thank you. I appreciate being here with you to cut up,
Yep.
act a fool, piss some
Listen,
people off, all of that we do on a normal basis.
that we do on a regular basis, because pissing people, I like pissing the right people off. That
Yeah.
be the thing. I love pissing off the right people. So I'm excited to have you on. So we're gonna jump right into this. Please go like, share, comment. Be sure to subscribe to Beyond My Brushes podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at Beyond My Brushes Pod, and you can follow me on YouTube. You can also follow me here. So just to let you know. So we're gonna jump right into tonight's topic because I'm not even trying to hold you because this has been a long time coming.
For sure.
So let me go here. First things first. New Year's Eve. Bishop William Murphy. Bishop had them dickers in the uproar. I'm just telling you, the people, the saints of God. Listen, the saints and ain'ts was I don't know. Are you familiar with that? Did you see anything of the clips?
Yes, I'm very familiar. I live in Atlanta part-time. I don't know Bishop Murphy, but I know the church. My former church had that building before he moved in and purchased that building.
Okay.
So very familiar with all of that. And I don't understand why the saints are acting like spiritual sluts and scriptural sluts.
Did you just say spiritual sluts?
Spiritual sluts, scriptural sluts, all of that. Like
Oh,
they act as if Jesus were to come back, he'd be pissed about a whole lot of stuff. There's
listen.
been an evolution in our faith tradition and what it looks like. Matter of fact, because I live on multiple continents, Christianity in Africa doesn't look like Christianity in the United States, doesn't look like Christianity in the Middle East, doesn't look like Christianity in Asia. And so, it's about cultural mores, and people keep trying to make their traditions, their traditionalism, the standard, and it's really not. And we need to move beyond some of that stuff. And this whole what's secular versus sacred. Hell, 75% of Christianity is built off of paganism. Christianity was not created in a vacuum. There was a cultural context that informed it. And so they stole stuff from some of everybody to create the faith tradition that we ascribe to. So stop that.
Come on and teach the people, friend. Because so here's the issue that I have. So many people have been talking about this. They've been in an uproar about it. They were like, oh my God. I watched this one girl podcast, the Chit Chat Corner, something like that. And she was just like, clearly he wants to be a celebrity pastor. Clearly, he's just into this. And, he's bragging about the 150 people that were getting saved. And yet those people didn't really get saved. Like, now, granted, he plays swag and surf. Now, could we have taken the instrumental version? Probably so. But this is where I stand with this. He is reaching the masses. He is reaching beyond my generation. He's reaching even some of the older people who have maybe strayed away or whatever, who's in secular in the world, however the old people, my grandmother, God rest her soul. If she was still alive, she probably would want to stone me to death because she's like, that's not how you were raised. I get that. But right now in this day and age, it's so many people that were worried about they were worried about what was played in the church versus the message behind it. The message came from Acts 3. I'm not a Bible thumper. I am not a scripture quoter. I ain't gonna even hold you. I pick up my Bible on my phone. That's where I got it. But it came from Acts 3. While people are talking about, oh, well, I don't know why he did this, they didn't even listen to the sermon.
Right. That
and
part.
Acts 3 came where he said it was about Peter and John. And Peter and John, there was this man and he had a jacked up walk. And he was like, they reached down and picked him up and was like, hey, you got to walk this thing out. And he was like, that's where it came from. Now, mind you, they had a DJ there. They had an artist that was a painter on the stage the whole time. There was a sneaker person who was creating sneakers in the lobby. They had a photo 360 booth. It was New Year's Eve. They literally were doing the darn thing. You know what I mean? But I feel like he's getting a lot of backlash. One, because some pastors is like, dang, why I ain't think of this first? Because we could have went viral. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or two, they really want, like, prime example. I'm going to throw him under the bus. This one guy, Anthony Chase, he's a YouTuber. Don't really know, baby. He just interested in you listening to him sing, because his every intro comes in, he's singing, like he wants you to hear his voice. And okay. But then you have Tony Gaskins. Tony Gaskins is a well-known person. You know, I don't really follow him. I don't know. Like, I just don't. I don't know. So somebody sent me a clip before we got in here. Hey, y'all, everybody that's tuning in, thank you so much for tuning. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I was about to say review. like, subscribe, and share this broadcast if you can relate to tonight, especially being a millennial. But back to Tony Gaskins. Tony Gaskins literally was like, oh, this William Murphy, or Murphy, I don't really know his name. People were sending me something, sending me clips, and he's, he seems like a guy that wasn't really popular back in the day. He didn't really get all the girls, or didn't really get girls and all this other stuff. And I'm like, but what does that have to do with anything? Like, you talking about something that you don't, what are you like, what are we doing here? Yeah. So people are missing the point.
And not recognizing that you don't have to have commentary about everything that happens.
You don't. Just because it's sent to you doesn't mean that you got to talk about everything.
Exactly.
Just because it's sent to you. Sorry, y'all. My dog think he.
And what happens in your house, Chiquita, don't have shit to do with what happens in my house.
The pastor said shit. Oh,
it doesn't at all.
I'm so mad I can't drink because I'm on this.
What I do in my church is for my people. I know the context of my people. I know what works, what flows, what will reach them, what won't. And so I'm going to do what I do. And it may not work for somebody who has a more conservative ministry. They got the white evangelicals' hand up their butt because that's who pays them and platforms them and sponsors them. So they can't do that. It doesn't align with their white theology in blackface. So cool. Whatever works for you, works for you. Whatever works in my context, works in my context. Stay out of my house. And if you're not a member of that church, it really doesn't have anything to do with you. So stop that. We got more important things. You can raise your voice about that, but you haven't said a damn thing about Palestine and Gaza and the genocide that's taking place. You're not registering people to vote. You're not speaking up against policies that are hurting and harming people. You got so much to say, but you ain't saying shit about the right shit. And that's the problem.
It's the right shit. You taking everything but the right stuff. So I woke up a few days ago, maybe earlier in the week, or maybe like end of last week, to my comment that I made on the Shade Room under this, talking about said topic. And one lady was like, oh, y'all, because I told them, I said, y'all make my ass itch. I said, because y'all pick and choose what scripture y'all want to quote that's going to be beneficial for you at that time. You pick and choose what you want to take. This week, he your pastor. Next week, he, oh my God, I don't get this. Then it's like you missed the whole point of the sermon. You missed the whole point of what he was doing. And his, and I wrote it down. He said, what he's doing is redeeming the culture for the cause of Christ. So he's going back to the basics, but he's using newfound things to draw people to Christ. So no, we're not saying, because Gary with the T, he had went on the whatever that show is with Gary with the T, Tamar and the Brat. And yes, Brad is one of his members. Tamar Braxton is one of his members, and people had something to say about that. So one person was like, oh, well, if he had played a different song, then if he had played a different song, y'all ass still would have had a problem.
Still found something.
Call a spade a spade.
Yes, exactly.
So what do we do? You're a pastor, and you come from the New Covenant, and how do you look at this? How do you look at what he did? Do you see a problem with it? Because I know the older people, the elders, your dad may have, he may not agree with certain stuff too. We get that. The older generation may not, because they're stuck in their ways. But for you, because we're still classified millennials, how do you identify, what are your takes on that? Outside of what you already said.
Yeah, I don't care. That's my primary point that I want everybody to be clear about. I don't care. Bishop Murphy is doing what Bishop Murphy feels that he's called to do. He's reaching who he's called to reach at his church. And I fully support him. I know for a fact that his church does amazing ministry in the city of Atlanta. And so I celebrate him for all of that. I am not going to take swipes or jabs at him. None of that. Furthermore, those of us who operate in the social media space know we never know what's going to go viral. It's the people that's trying to go viral that don't go viral. And it's us doing regular stuff that just pops off. And we don't know the impact.
I could go viral just putting on some press-on nails.
Yeah, like stop all of that. And so He gonna do what he gonna do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reach who I'm gonna reach. He gonna reach who he gonna reach. And hopefully at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we can say that we made a mark on this world and we didn't leave a scar because we were focused on building people's lives and changing people's lives and reintroducing them to a Christ that's been whitewashed and a faith tradition that's been bastardized by spiritually stupid people and biblically ignorant people who misread the text outside of its context. And whenever you take a text outside of its context, all you're left with is a con, because we keep misreading the Bible through 21st century Western lenses.
Come on, somebody. Did you have to kill him like that?
I mean, I paid all this money to get all these degrees. I better use it.
Listen, and that's another thing. Another pastor, and we're going to jump to the next subject, but another pastor has said that. He said, I have no opinion as to what Bishop Murphy does at his church. What works for his church, works for his church. What works at mine, works for mine. Like, there are pastors that have used secular music in their sermon. Like, even before church started on New Year's Eve, he played a little Frankie Beverly and Maze. He was like, as people were entering in the sanctuary, like he had his DJ playing it. Then it went from the Before I Let Go, which is the family reunion classic step. Then he went into Beyonce's Before I Let Go version. Then he what else did he play? He played the instrumental version of Blow the Whistle, but that's, and then again, Swag and Surf is like
14 years old. Let's start there.
It's HBCU starter. I don't care if you went to HBCU or somebody's whatever. It's just a classic. So whether you agree that it was supposed to be played in the church or not, that's just.
I want some of them also to take some music classes, because I had studied music for 20 years, and I want you to start charting out some of your favorite gospel tunes. Because you'll recognize and study Thomas Dorsey that all of the great gospel music that moves our spirit and our soul is built upon jazz and blues.
Listen, Lord.
Chart it, learn how to read music.
Jesus.
Same notes, same chords.
Jesus.
So while you're talking about why they bringing all this worldly stuff into the church, hell, that's what got you buck dancing and shouting in church for years. Listen, that's what got you. And while y'all focused on the wrong things, focus on the doggone building fund that's still sitting at $150,000, and it is sitting at 150 because that's where y'all wanted to go with. I don't know what we're gonna build for 150. Maybe we're gonna build an annex or something. I have no clue. But focus on that, because it's still sitting at $733 from when I was 12. But we're gonna hit off to the next subject, which let's hit it.
Got everybody. If that didn't kick off 2024, Cat Williams did. Bro, Cat Williams came and aired this mother out. Like air it out.
Yeah.
Like no tomorrow. Like he spoke so much facts, and I believe him. Now, people was hating on him, talking about some Cat Williams ain't read no 3,000 books, and he did all of this. And so his background states that where he comes from, like he had to do that. He had to, that was a part of his growing up and upbringing. I don't know if he went to Catholic school. I can't remember what it was, because there was so much going on with that podcast, because literally I didn't know where this man grew up at till at 25 minutes and 12 seconds, because he came out the woodworks just airing it out. And I was just like, oh wow. Oh wow. Like, he talked about the whole Cedric the Entertainer, how people were black. He pretty much was like Monique in a way. Yeah. And he's like, I have 19 specials. He was like, Cedric got for them. They can't even reach Tubi. When he said Tubi, and y'all know Tubi is like Section 8 of Netflix. God, I was like, baby, if you can't reach Tubi, it's an issue.
And the way he delivered, so smooth, so smoothly,
so poised. He was like, I am here. I am just here. I don't do interviews with everybody. So it was just like, he literally he spoke his truth. Now, I do believe the Mark Curry, anybody who knows Mark Curry, hanging with Mr. Cooper, yes, I'm telling my age, I don't care. But Mark Curry is actually funny. So he did, he wrote a few things for, like Steve Harvey, and like people, they were fact checking. Mm-hmm. They were fact checking literally right there on site.
That's what those young people do.
While he was doing the interview. Yes. Literally. So, baby, when he said, baby, y'all a big fat phase on lot, that one sent me to the moon. That's gonna be my tagline for 2024. You a fat phase on lot. But if you see even how they responded to him, nobody didn't say, oh, that's not true or whatever. They come taking jabs. Oh, who he think he is and blah, 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 blah. This anybody who, if you knew that what he was saying was quote unquote a lie, because I believe every word that he said. But why wouldn't you say, let me have my people gonna handle this? And because Negroes, they gonna sue, they gonna try to do everything that they can to get what they can. And like Kat said, I have everything that I need. I wake up every morning having everything that I need. And if I don't have it, it's because I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
It's because I ain't got it yet.
Yes.
And people are so, they drawn it. They called him a crackhead. Of course, they bringing out where he got beat up by the teenager or somebody. I can't remember. But I was just like, yo, again, another point where y'all missed what the man said. Literally, they pulled up the whole thing from Comic View. I wish my stream was working tonight. It's not, but y'all, I apologize. Next week it will be. Where he was doing the Comic View, only he did his in the car. Cedric the Entertainer went and did his years later on the Kings of Comedy, and he was using it as a spaceship. Come on, y'all. Like, wake up.
Yeah.
And Steve Harvey, has Steve Harvey said anything?
I don't know. I really don't watch TV like that, so I'm not sure.
He said, I don't watch TV like that. So how you gonna stay in the know, Steven? I can't just tell you everything.
I got people.
Steven said, I got people. I got people. But
I get the cliff notes every day.
Listen, see, and there you go. But no, I thought that was how 2024 was starting off. I was just like, oh, 2024 is not playing. 2024 said, I'm about to air this out. And somebody else said, because it was a couple people that said 2020 year was the year of exposure. And I was just like, that could be taken a few ways.
A few different ways, yes.
A few different ways, but hey. So yeah, I just didn't know. What do you have any take on that? Like anything, did you watch the whole interview or parts of it?
I haven't finished the whole thing yet. I've thoroughly enjoyed what I have seen. And I think Kat presents for us an individual who recognizes that when you're complete, you don't have to compete. He's well within his soul.
Let me write this down. When you complete,
you don't have to compete.
Compete.
Yeah.
Lord, is that you talking?
He's in an emotionally healthy space and state. He's very self-aware, emotional intelligence, check. All of that was demonstrated. So, I have a psychology background. So I kind of look at things from that angle and that approach as well. And so I saw somebody who was very stable and very secure and wanted to expose what people often don't know and how things run. And that's the part that I have seen. I'm like, ooh, I wonder if I did one of these from the church lens, from the preaching lens, and just told what went on behind the scenes, because that's what he's doing. Their cliques and their crews and their structures and their people that are funneling. Well, people saw me on Larry Reed. I kind of talked about that. They're white people that are giving money to Black preachers to platform them. And we just so in awe. They got a hand up their ass controlling. It's a white hand that's controlling their Black bodies and their Black mouths.
Oh my God.
So all of that's happening. And so I saw
puppets.
Yeah, the puppets. I saw the parallels there. And he's just exposing truth. And people can't fight back about truth.
That you can't. And everything is, it's almost going back to what our grandparents and parents used to say, what's done in the dark gonna come to the light. What's done in the wash is gonna come out in the rinse. So you can't go and you can't think that this was never going to come out. You can't possibly think that, somebody say you're trying to empty the church. No, we're just bringing awareness to the church, because I'm so tired of the people who are, they lash at the wrong things. And it's like they miss the point. Again, they take out what they want.
Yes.
When they want it, how they want it, and it's conducive for them.
Yes.
And they use it for what it is. Like, everybody always quote that scripture, like, parents, you not provoke your children, but
keep reading.
What happened to the other one that, no, it's the, your parents,
honor your mother and father.
Honor your mother and father. Your days belong up on the earth. But then nobody also quotes that scripture, the other one that I stated, where parents, you not provoke your children. Yes. So come on, if we gonna have, it's always something that's going Come on, we neck and neck with something. You always gonna find something in the Bible that's gonna be conducive to
Yeah,
scriptures that you pick and choose for yourself. So
yeah, we
that
can
was
always
just
bastardize the
2020.
Bible.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, I'm mad my business because people I like to cuss and I like to use harsh cuss words, so I'm gonna leave this alone. But and then jumping into our last topic, can y'all let the Little Mermaid live? The girl done had her baby. Please leave Halle Bailey alone. The girl wanted to have a pregnancy in silence. She wanted to literally just let live. Y'all be worried about the wrong stuff. It's like this one app called Lipstick Alley, baby. Anybody who's anybody, they be on there talking smack. They know if you getting a divorce. Oh, they know on December 31st at 12:09, you no longer had your ring on. The divorce decree, she had a ring on this. Like there's people are so invested in people's lives. Like, can y'all just let people live?
And don't know them. Like we say
Don't
all this
know
stuff about,
them.
we know all of this. No, you don't. You know of people, you don't know people.
You can't claim this baby on your taxes. Why you worried
No.
about it?
Because they have no life. They haven't figured out their future, what their passions and desires are. So to conceal some of that, we just gonna focus over here. We're gonna divert the attention from the fact that we're failures in life. We ain't shit, ain't gonna ever be shit. And so we just created all of this other stuff about other people. So come on, it's like psychology 101. Why
You
don't you
finna
get a
have
life?
you finna have us on the shade room, friend. Look, and that's how you go viral.
We just talking truth over
We
here.
just talking truth over here. And if y'all don't like it, then I don't know what what there is to say. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I had to come into the 2024. 2024 is starting off with a bang, like it's the bang. Like I'm just over here like that's what y'all want to do. Okay, great. But jumping into tonight's topic, we are discussing. What are we discussing tonight?
We talking about
was
this double
one.
standard in dating.
This was one that you came up with. My good friend Steven came up with, and he was talking double standards in dating and talking about the age difference and how that looks. And like, so let me ask you, you're a pastor.
Yeah.
So I know the hoes be after you. I know the hoes because they be attract. Okay, so what I've learned on the outside looking in, they say they're attracted to the anointing or what they may feel as the anointing because they want to be, his right arm girl or his left arm, whichever arm you're gonna be on. I don't care. But I know the hoes is after you. And I know you're in a relationship and we love her. Amen. Hey girl. But I know that before you got into a relationship and even probably still now, they after you because these women they're uncouth. They're unhinged.
let me dispel some myths and misnomers. I
Oh,
know
he used big words. What's misnomers? I gotta use that one.
I've been in this life all my life, literally.
All your life.
And so, of course, I have seen that women coming at the preacher, and it's an energy. I believe in energy and people vibing off energy and the potential that they see, and some of the stuff, the trinkets, they don't know what the life is really like.
Yeah.
And so they see all of this stuff. But believe it or not, I haven't got the energy that people think I've gotten. And like you just insinuated that I get, people don't holler at me. And when they do,
And you classified as a pretty boy.
it's always the wrong people. If
So
somebody hollers,
it's the thought pockets.
yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's like, ma'am, did you look at yourself in the mirror? The unmitigated gall of you, the audacity.
I'm finna Mimi licks you. Oh my God. Did you just say, ma'am, did you look at yourself in the
What would make you think?
Steven!
I mean, audacity and courage are on sale.
Baby, they giving it away for free, I think, because we ended the year giving it away. I just think, look, even my dog had to get up. He's like, what's going on here? They're giving it away for free. They have
But I've heard that I'm intimidating. So that's been the response I got. You're intimidating, so we're not gonna whatever. And in that space, I make it very clear, this is business. I'm here to work. And so I don't believe in bestiality. So I don't believe in sheep and shepherd commingling in that manner. So I'm not talking to you. I'm messing with you.
And it seems like a lot of women, because I know like even my old pastor, like, you know, women would be after, and I'd be like, I'd look at him like a brother, like a dad. I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, like I look at you like my brother. So if somebody be like, oh, Steven, he fine, I'd be like, ew, that's my brother. Like, like you like, oh God. Like one of my friends, she's obsessed with somebody I shall not name. And I was just like, ew. And he's family though. And I was like, ew, you like, oh God. Even me and my sister was just like, oh God. Did you really just say that? But no, so like me personally, I have first of all, I can't even imagine. I was engaged to a guy who was a minister, and I was just like, yeah, this is not my life. Because I like to cuss a little too much. And I be the cuss. I told one girl who tried to walk up on me in the church, girl, I will dip your ass in that baptismal pool. Back the hell up. Like, please back the hell up. Because I don't want to do this. And I be trying. Listen, I'm trying to live right in the eyes of the Lord. I can't go to hell. My skin too sensitive. I listen, I can't go to jail either. I'm just saying, like, baby, what are y'all doing? And I used to think, like, even how that would look, how that would, you know, because they be thinking, and I'm gonna go here. They be thinking that, oh, they saved. Y'all be the biggest freaks in the biggest freaks. And I ain't telling my business, but I'm just saying.
I mean, you said that like you had some lived experience. That's
Listen, hold on. Wait a
my
minute.
spirit of discernment kicked in.
Okay, listen, now I'm transparent about my life. I had one, Lord Jesus. Well, two. And Lord Jesse, I was just like, oh, how old are you? Oh, Father is a piss. Oh, Jesus. Father, forgive me because I have sinned, but this was some glory. And that's okay. All right. I'm back.
You went to the third heaven on that.
I went to the upper room, came back. I lost my mind. Please, I hope my husband ain't looking at this. He knows my story. So I'm sorry. But no, what is dating like for you? Like what is it?
Yeah, like a normal person. You just got to recognize that I'm hustling and I'm moving. Like this is a 24/7 deal.
Yeah.
And here's another part that most people don't get. I don't get a salary from the church. So like this is hustle time for real. I'm managing a multi-million-dollar facility. I got 30 something people on payroll. And I'm making sure all of them eat. And that means that right now I can't eat. So, you know, I'm not eating. So all of this, I've been sitting there.
But you ain't.
I'm eating.
Right.
Yeah, I know how to save.
I know right. That's another thing. So do you find that dating was hard even before you became Stephen J. Thurston? Like you said, you've been in this walk since the ancient of days. So do you feel like even before you became Stephen J. Thurston, like that it was a struggle to date, like women, or to find, because women, when they find out who you are, if they don't know who you are, you know, like you could say, yeah, back the hell up, like, you know, whatever. But do you think that it was harder to date? Like it was harder because they saw you as Stephen Thurston's son, like, oh, they want to get in because they want to be somebody. And I think that boosts a lot of people's self-esteem too.
Yes, yeah. So I could discern that real quick. And that would immediately kind of eliminate.
Where's my gavel? I need let me use the fan. Because what? The spirit of discernment. I need people to practice that in 2024.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to that stuff and pick up on it. So that would automatically eliminate your opportunity to move forward, to advance to the tryouts and the playoffs. Didn't make it. And then I also would often, to the point we're talking about tonight, I would date older. And so I would date people that had something to lose. Like you.
Oh, well, yeah.
Table.
And yeah, that's always something too. Dating somebody because you have something to lose. Because a lot of times, I know oftentimes people, they take advantage of that.
Correct.
Like they take advantage. Like I used to always say, and I was talking to, who was I talking to? I think I was talking to my cousin. And I was like, yo, I used to think that I was going to date or marry an older man. Now, granted, he's older. He's 4 months older than I am, but still his grays are showing. I used to think that I would date an older man and I would marry an older man, like much older. When I say AARP, like late 40s, like I ain't got to bust it wide open too much and catch a Charlie horse because he ain't going to one hit a quitter. Hey man, here you go. He's asleep. All right. And then I was like, I used to think that I would date and marry an older, like white guy who was like swagged out. He reminds you of a brother.
I can see that.
But he was just swagged out. And then, you know, I dated somebody who was just a different version of my father. Now, my daddy was a hoe. Thank God my husband ain't a hoe. Lord Jesus. What he did before me, we literally, we were first, he was my first boyfriend when I was 14. And then, time kind of just erased or whatever. But literally, he is he's a different version of my father. My father was a horse, laying it low, spreading it wide, as in Evelyn Braxton. So it's a bunch of us over here, where my husband, he was just he always say, I was the goofy kid. I was the fat kid who I ain't get to play or whatever. Then when I got grown and then they saw who I was, then it was like, oh, everybody on him. Cause I catch it now and I'd be like, don't get her stabbed. Because I still believe in beating people asses, even at the tender age of 38. I still believe nothing if you buck. Because I got one for you. And I'm trying to practice world peace, but people don't want me to practice world peace. You have to tell them. My mother-in-law is a retired police detective. I'll probably get off. I'm just letting you know. I ain't even gonna hold you. So the double, I feel like a lot of people with dating, they date. I heard somebody say people date to what they need. Like if somebody, they just want to come up and they know that, you are somebody, oh, well, he got money. That's because a lot of girls, let's call a spade a spade.
They own that.
A lot of girls be on that, but a lot of men be on that too.
Sure.
It's men who are out here like, oh, she got this. Let me see how I can come up. Let me see how I can do this. And I'll be like, since I've become of age, I'm lying, but I was 15 dating a 32-year-old. I'm just going to put it out there. it is what it is. Judge your mammy. It happens. And literally, he even thought, he was like, but I've always been older than what I could have a conversation. I wasn't having the normal conversation that a 15-year-old would have because I was raised by an older generation. So my conversation was different with people. So people always thought that I was older than what I am. But when I see these girls, they want to be in the limelight. They want to date this person for what they have and what they can do for them. It's like, I feel like social media has taken over, like love and hip hop, all of this, and it has changed the trajectory of your reality.
Sure.
You think because they're doing it, I can do it too.
Yeah,
like standard. Yeah. And one girl went viral. She was like, oh, me and my boyfriend, we were together since high school. And he, after college, he moved this because he got a good paying job. And, I kept saying, I want to be a content creator 100%. This is what I wanted to do, blah, 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 blah. And he called up to her job one day and they said, your husband is on the phone. And she was like, what, my husband? So she went to the phone and was like, what's wrong? And he was like, do you want today to be your last day? And she was like, what you talking about? He said, go clock out. He had movers at her house helping to pack up her stuff, relocating her to another state where he was. He told her, I don't want anything from you. All I want you to do is focus on what it is that you want to do. We'll figure out the rest later. She didn't like the lighting in her apartment. Or the apartment that they had, he moved them to the upper room. They went to a penthouse. Now, while that's great for her, sister girl, I'm glad. I don't know what kind of cooters you got, but I'm happy for you, sis. I am so happy for you. However, that's not everybody's story.
Correct. We all have our own lane, our own race that we're running at our own speed. And we've got to work that out with the partner that we're with. And to the point you just made, we have a chronological age, a psychological age, a physical age, a sexual age. And we need to consider all of those elements as we're considering who we're connecting with. And even when we have these relationships that have age gaps in them, all of that stuff plays a factor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how the man is raised plays a role.
Because too.
In our culture, in the Black community, the girls are often raised and the boys are often mothered.
Oh, say that again. Say that one more time. The doors of the church is open. You want to put your Cash App down? Because they can send a tithe and an offering. Since he ain't getting paid from the church, y'all got to donate somehow. Help my brother out. I'm just saying. Literally, I find that. That's why you have so many memes going around that saying, I'm raising my son to be a man that your daughter will not have to recover from.
Correct.
And that's what people don't understand too. It does help in your upbringing. Like me and my husband are totally different. He pretty much had all his parents. He got a mama, a stepdaddy, a stepmama, and a daddy. Me, I'm a wayward bastard kid. I ain't gonna even hold you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was raised by some elders. They was in their late 60s when I was born. My mama, she just who she was. My daddy, he was who the hell he was too. Yeah. And that's just that. But I had along the way, I had people who mothered me and
Yes.
cared for me as I was their own to mold and shape me. So
Correct.
it did play out. So whereas my husband was raised on a lot of love and things like that, I was mainly raised on survival because I had to figure the shit out. I had to get it. I got it out the mud.
Yeah.
I literally packed up and moved away from Chicago. Nobody knew I was gone. I literally 4 duffel bags, me and my 4-year-old. I holla, I'm gone. And I never looked back.
Got it.
So there's a lot of people, your upbringing does have a lot to do, and it's a reflection in how you date. A
Yep.
lot of women date men who are like their fathers.
Exactly. So it's called transference from a psychological lens.
Mm,
And when we engage in transference, we're acting like plastic surgeons.
mm.
We're putting an old face on a new body because we're trying to work out some stuff in the previous relationship that often transpired in our developmental years and often in our family of origin. And whatever went wrong, we're now trying to come back and fix it with another person. And so you'll find people marrying whichever parent they had the most issue with, that's who they marry because they're trying to subconsciously fix that. And so it's like a ghost that keeps going back to a house to haunt it where the situation occurred.
Oh my
And
God,
until
I'm glad
you
I'm not.
recognize the transference, you'll stay in this perpetual cycle. That's why if you line up everybody you've ever dated, it's going to show you like an EKG of your emotional state.
Shut your face. I'm glad I was not born with a penis. Because if I married anybody like my mother, I'd be in hell in a handbasket. Like, I'm going to have to take this L. Like, I'm going to be in a straitjacket. Like, that's crazy. But even with being born as a female, thank you, God, that's so true. If you line up everybody that you dated,
Yeah.
it's almost you're looking at an EKG of it. I never looked at it
It's
like
going to show
that.
you the state of your emotional health.
Because so like prime example, when my father died, I slipped into and the person that I was dating at the time, like they were giving me what I needed. I wasn't really interested in that person, but they were giving me what I needed and fulfilling those desires from. So yeah, it's an emotional health. And all of that dating, all of that is still tied into mental and emotional existence and health
Yes.
and all of that. Dear
What
Lord.
you don't cry out as a child, you act out as an adult.
Listen, that's why there are a lot of adults with children inside of them. There are a lot of adults living these children lives because they were not able to be children
Yeah.
when
And
they
process
needed
the
to be
pain.
in the process of pain. So now as adults, they're acting out. Dear Lord, I wish I could send this to somebody. If I didn't think that I would have to cuss them out and maybe go shoot up the block, like I literally would send this to them because they act out, and it's so crazy how they do that. But they come from a 2-parent home.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
Those parents could have been unhealthy, unhinged, and created,
Unhealed.
yeah, unhealed. Yep. And created a very a toxic, I hate people always say toxic
Toxicity, yeah.
environment. Yeah.
And then it goes back to, like you said, with generational curses. That
Yeah.
still goes into like what we all are stemming from some sort of generational curse, whether we broke it off or not. Like, prime example, if you have I was raised by my great grandparents.
Mhm.
So I don't have that traditional upbringing.
Yep.
So whatever they were taught, that's what
Yes.
they instilled in me.
Yes.
So now that's what I instilled in my children. However, certain things that were taught, I had to learn my own spiritual journey along the way. Because yes, it does get spiritual. I had to learn my own spiritual journey along the way and had to know what I had to throw out and reprogram and retrain myself to understand and
Yes.
get to know it for myself. Had I not done those things, I would have still been stuck.
Yes.
And there's certain things that I still struggle with. If we're going to keep it 100
Yep.
and be accountable, let's keep it 100. But I feel like people don't take the time to heal, because what you do is, if you don't take your time to heal from a previous relationship, so on and so forth, whether it's your mama, your daddy, your pissy pimple wearing ass grandmammy, I don't know. If you do not take the time to heal, you are bleeding on that other person when you enter in a relationship.
Yeah. It's
So
premature
they're
penetration
not, yeah.
into this next relationship. And to the point you made about the generational piece, epigenetic transference. I know it's a big word, but I mean, trauma passes down through DNA, literally.
And that's why you have to heal, because if you don't, you're going to catch us in another
Yes.
generation of cycles that our children they have to heal from. Like,
Yep.
you got to heal. So your kids ain't got to deal with those
That's right.
demons.
Yes.
Heal so your kids don't deal with them demons, or anybody else's kids that you encounter. Because I know there are a lot of people's kids people who entrust their kids, even with myself. And anybody, if your kid go to Clark, Atlanta, Spelman, wherever, here in Atlanta, literally, I'm like, is there anything I could do to help them? I don't care if it's a meal on Sundays, or if I got to come, they spending a holiday with us, so on and so forth. That's still that's the village too.
Yes, correct.
That's the village. And you also got to know who's in your village, but that's another topic for another day. But back to the story at hand with double standards in dating. Like, do you think that, I don't know how I want to put this, when it comes to men, do you think they date up in certain regards, like to their position that they're in, or do you think they date down so that they're what do you call it? They're what the hell is the
Machismo?
word? The who?
Machismo?
Boy, I'm not listening to them them damn big words that you use. And no, it's basically their confidence. They're dating down so their confidence and their ego is boosted. Do you think that or how do you see that when it comes to like that double standard with the men?
Yeah, we have categories. So let's take Atlanta, where we both live. It's with like 23 women to one man.
Listen, more like 57, but who's counting?
So
they don't care.
No.
Atlanta is ruthless.
Yeah. It's a whole nother world.
It's a whole nother shit show. I'm just gonna be
honest. And so in context like that, in just across the United States, there are more Black females than there are Black men. And then when you take out those who are in the LGBTQ plus community and all of that, like, you have very slim pickings. We know that the numbers are in our favor. And so we play to that. And so we got one girl for this, one girl for this, one girl for this. And once you've been categorized, it's very difficult for you to switch and jump categories. And so it doesn't matter where our ego is, because we're going to be able to find somebody that's going to meet us and match us and give us what we want. And then when we go back to the factor of men, boys being mothered instead of raised, they've been around women who've always told them yes. So the minute you tell me no, I'm going to find somebody else that's going to give me a yes. And it's an immediate out. Like, I don't need you. I got 30 more.
Listen, where your one came from.
And she making six figures in Atlanta, got her own crib, and is willing, because she
drives a G-Wagon or a Benz. Everybody driving a Benz.
She gonna pay me. She gonna take care of me.
And so
y'all paying.
Not y'all. Hold on, because I ain't no sugar mama. Back up. Back the hell up. No, my husband used to say that too, before we even got back together, because even we struggled a little bit in the beginning of our relationship. Even after we got engaged, it was still some things that were factoring in that I was just like, yo, like, why would you do this? And he's like, because I'm used to what one person won't do. There's always somebody else that's going to want to do it for me because of who I am, or they want to do it for me. And I'm like, oh, I ain't that type of chick. Like, you got me at all the way. Like, if that's so easy, I'm an Aquarius. This is big dog energy.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. Play on, player. I wish you well. Assalamu alaikum, whatever. So, I think that there are men that do that. And it's, to me, I feel like that's a sign of weakness.
Gotcha.
That's a sign of weakness. If you can't stand on your own, if you got to depend on me now, not talking about we in a relationship, I'm talking about just in this dating saga, because you can date me tomorrow, and when you leave my house, or when we leave from wherever we at, you on to the next girl, but you got me in rotation. Like, but however, for men, that's okay. That's deemed as okay. But for a woman to do it, I'm then labeled as a bougie B word. I'm then labeled as a slut. You're a whore. You can't do this. So why? It's cool when you do it. It's a problem when I do it. Ugh.
We live within the patriarchal context that prioritizes men and demonizes.
You're gonna have to spell those words for these people, because these people are like, what is patriarchal? See, I couldn't even repeat it if I wanted to, but people.
We live in the context. I'll break it down. We live in the context that highlights and celebrates men and demonizes women, especially Black women. Black women are the bottom of the barrel in this American context, the least protected, the least provided for across the board. And a lot of Black men need to be honest. We don't like women. We like vagina.
Oh,
That leads to what you see and what we were just talking about. We don't like women. We like vagina.
I need a gavel. I swear I need a gavel. Like, order in the mother flipping court.
We
He
see this
said they
perpetuation.
like vagina. I mean, and some women like pink. So that's, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And, but that's true. And it's all, I think some men, I won't say a man, but
Sure.
some men.
We're speaking in generalities tonight.
Yeah. But some men find their strength in that. I can have multiple women, multiple vaginas. I can have this. So that makes them feel like they're in power. And it's like, what?
Yeah. And the context. So there's a great book, How Love Conquered Marriage. I would invite people to read. And it walks down the history of marriage and how we got to this place of monogamy. And we try to spiritualize and sanitize the Bible and all of that. Polygamy was the dominant thing. It didn't change because God said, oh no, please take that bullshit somewhere else and go to seminary and do your research.
He said go to
We moved from polygamy to monogamy because cultural mores shifted. That is why. And as society shifted from an agrarian agricultural society to what it became, it was not needful and necessary. But when it was permissible, and in other countries, like I live in Morocco part-time, it is permissible for me to have 4 wives there if I can afford them. If that's the key. If I can,
that's the key. If you can afford them.
And that's the piece that people miss out on. I want to have all of these women. I want to do. Can you afford it, sir? Can you do that? Because you want all of that put back in place. I don't know if you would meet the standard of being able to fulfill that if we were to bring all of that and put it back in place here in our current cultural context.
Yeah. I totally get that. I want to jump into some of these comments, and we're going to go back up for a little bit and see what the people were talking.
What the people saying?
So I'm going back. Somebody said, Thurston, you're talking good, sir. You're talking good. There it is. And somebody else said, these people, somebody else said, Cat spoke his truth. He stood up for his friends, all of that. And that's another thing, going back even to that. Cat Williams gave his flowers to Bernie Mac.
Oh, yes.
Bernie talked a lot of stuff too, but Cat Williams, he definitely gave his flowers to Bernie Mac, said he's trending for the beginning of 2024. Yes, he was. Said fact checking is what we do. Steve Harvey is a knockoff of Hanging with Mr. Cooper. You know what? And I never really realized that, because Steve Harvey went in to have his own show with that fake toupee on his head. And that's okay. Yeah. Somebody else said, yep, we went over that. When you are complete, you don't have to compete. Now that has to be a tagline for something. Somebody, what's his name? The white man from Bravo, Andy Cohen, give me my peach, because I'm gonna bring some flair, because I don't know what y'all got. I ain't married to medicine, and I ain't I'm a real housewife of Atlanta by way of Gwinnett County. You know what? Somebody said, I agree with that. Put a Shay session in the church. Cat was sober-minded when he spoke. That is definitely true. Somebody else said, listen, Cat is misunderstood, and he demonstrates an emotionally controlled human. He was so poised in his interview. I'm going to stand behind it. Somebody said, I love a healthy dialogue. Let's go down further to somebody said, Crystal said, this is hilarious, because we some fools. You know, I knew the right person to get on this one, because this is
what we do.
This is what we do. We can talk. When you have friends and people that you can have healthy conversations and healthy dialogue with, that a lot of people are scared to church, scared to talk about, because at the end of the day, before Stephen was even called to minister, he's still human.
Yeah.
I think that's what people forget. That's what people forget. Like, literally, you're still human.
Yes.
And I think they put you on a pedestal, even in a dating world. They put you on this pedestal and they see you for who you are, where you come from, and they take advantage of that. But because you have discernment, amen, you don't let it ride. You don't let it ride.
Ain't about that life.
And it said, when you don't cry out as a child, you act out as an adult. This is true. And Renee says, so true. Seeing the same demon in different faces. You have to work on you to know the difference in order to do better. That is true.
Yeah.
My brother gets on here, unteach what was taught to you and make the truth your own. Okay, Mr. He's a psychology major too. I always get I say Talladega. He says Talladega. Okay. Yeah, people are in a position of control. Who else? We know what that mean. We follow him. Okay.
She know my words.
Candace knows. She said it was refreshing to hear a black man advocate for black women. And that's another thing too that's heavy in there. I really don't want to put my brother, but my brother is stupid. I hate Joshua. I hate you. Only him. He's a fool and he don't care either. But that's another thing that I feel like a lot of black women tend to even date outside their race, because I've dated outside of my race before, and people tend to look at you and they frown upon you. Like even social media, like it's cracking with a lot of biracial couples, and they're getting love, they're trending and things like that. But the black man doesn't advocate for a black woman. Like there's a doctor, prime example, that's trending. He's a Caucasian doctor. He wants to know why black women come in his office and they're recording. Hello, black women in childbirth, we're at the highest death rate.
Correct.
We're at the highest death rate. We are not taken care of. I don't know if you remember back to, it was a while back, maybe about several months back, where there was a young lady who she had her baby. The doctor used too much force and broke the baby's neck and basically killed the baby and lied to them and told them the baby was stillborn. And she was a black doctor.
Yeah.
Baby, I need every license you got to be revoked, because I don't know if you got your license off YouTube or Tubi. Because what? Who does that? That's why I go to the doctor that I do. My kids keep the same doctor that they do, because I'm like, I feel like even though he's a Caucasian male, I feel like he cares for me. Literally cares for me. He's Christian based, faith based, all of that, and he cares for me. He cares for my child, even delivering him. He cares for my daughter. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, we don't have that. And when you don't have, like I said, I'm so glad that you did advocate for the black women, because there's not enough men that advocate for us. We advocate for y'all
all the time. Y'all hold us down.
Kings, we uplift, the black men. We want, when something's happening, y'all, we going for bat, but we don't see that for us. But then when it comes back to us and we dating outside of our race, because this good high yellow white man treat me good, then I get called, oh, you serving massa, you like, come on, can you grow up? So I did this. Candace said, child, folks about to check you calling him Stephen and not by his title. Oh, I'm sorry, Pastor.
No, Candace, we don't play that. My birth certificate says Stephen.
Look, I asked him if he was a junior. He said, now, my mama, what my mama said. And I was like, yes, sir. Sorry. So, the Saints is going to have a field day with this one right here. Because he cursed. Oh, my God. Y'all act like y'all ain't never cursed. And that was another thing that I had a problem with going back to the Dream Center. Y'all act like when y'all walked out, y'all didn't play some Meg the Stallion. Y'all was probably talking about
to and going
party. Yeah. How much he rolled, and you're like, bro, I be confused. My brother's birthday was last Saturday, and I went to the club where he was having it. Was in Atlanta, and me and my husband both was just like, we are officially the old people in the club. My sister was like, you don't know this song, and I was like, no.
I don't.
And mind you, I have an almost 20-year-old and a 2-year-old. So that's still wild to me. But no, just wrapping up this show. Thank you so much, Stephen, for coming on here and giving sound feedback, just letting the people know, just being you, being human, and allowing your tresses, the waves of the light-skinned brother to flow, and giving all his theologians and all of his good philosophy, on here. I appreciate you very much, because not a lot of people will stand up and even want to talk about this. They hide behind this. They want to hide behind so many, they Twitter happy. They get on Twitter and they do this. But yet when we talk about this in the forefront, it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about this because I'm scared of the backlash. Baby, I'm controversial. I'm a rebel. You got? You ain't saying nothing to me that.
It's when you're free, though. When you're free.
When you're free.
You've got the space to say what we say and do what we do. And some of y'all just need to get free. Make your own
Listen,
money. Get your own bag. Do your own
listen,
thing. So nobody can tell you what the hell to say, how to move, what to
how to
respond to.
do, like,
Yeah.
that's all that
I
is.
was always taught to be free.
And that's the thing. Please get free. In 2024, can we please get free? Can we
Yeah.
please mind our business? Your business ain't my business, and my business ain't your business. Can we please just mind our business? Because I promise you the world will be a much better place.
Yeah. And
So
what one piece of dirt got the business calling another piece of dirt dirty? All of us got.
listen, that's why they got that new spin, that OC the spin mop. They brought it out where the clean part that you leave the clean water and the dirty water filters out somewhere else. Because baby, you mopping your floor with some reused dirty water ain't getting the flow clean. So let's call a spade, and what we doing it. Y'all, I have thoroughly enjoyed tonight's topic of conversation. This was very healthy dialogue, a very free form dialogue.
Yeah.
I thank you guys so much. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Beyond My Brushes Pod. Be sure to follow me on here. Y'all can follow my main page, which is Cheetah. I am well versed. Some days I'm gonna be quoting the scripture or giving you some good sound advice. The next thing I'm gonna be ready to knock somebody's head off. So hey, it's called balance. That's what it's
That's
called.
right.
I appreciate you,
Appreciate
Steven,
you.
for coming on here and just being open to this. Thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to his website. Follow him on Instagram at Stephen J. Thurston, and follow him on here because he's funny as hell. Like, he's funny. Like, pastor and all, he's going to give you biblical, but he's also going to give you reality. So thank you guys again. Stephen, hang on after the show. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much again for joining, and we'll see you again next week, same time, same day. Bye.
See y'all.